I brought my son to a comedy festival in Nebraska. It was Johnny Carson's hometown, and I was always such a huge fan of Johnny Carson. I wanted to show my son some history, right? They have a museum there and everything. So we went there, and we had a great time. And on before the first show, we were in the green room. It was me, a couple friends, my son, and then 2 comedians walked in that I had never met, so they didn't know me, and they certainly didn't know my son. And so they thought he was a comedian. And they were like, how old are you? And he goes, I'm 18. They go, oh, you think you're going to go out there and wow the adult crowd with your 18-year-old humor? Yeah? Is that right? Is that what you're going to do? Sure. Uh-huh. Going to tell them about how you live with your parents? And somebody whispered to me, they go, are you going to help your son? And I was like, nah, I sharpen this stick. I know how it pokes. So the guy was just giving it to my son, and he's finally done, and my kid goes, yeah, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate the advice. Do you mind if I say something I like about your act? And the guy goes, go for it. He goes, I really like how you smile at the end of your jokes to let people know they're finished since the punchlines don't do the trick. Everybody slowly looked at me, and I was just like, Daddy raised you right! So thrilled. But that wasn't even my favorite. At the end of the week, there was a former Miss Nebraska there. Just a lovely woman. She was like the town celebrity, so nice. And she invited us all to her home to have a buffet at the end of the week. And so we got there. It was my friend Joe, my friend Phil, my son, and myself, and we got there late. And there were no plates left. And Phil is from Canada. And I only tell you that to let you know that he doesn't care about others. So we walked in, and there were no plates left at the buffet. And there were 3 plates on the kitchen wall. And Phil goes, can I use one of these? And she goes, no, you may not. And he goes, why not? And she started crying. And through tears, she told us this story about how her mom had left Europe with just 12 plates and the clothes on her back. And then she met the husband, and they had 4 kids, and they all got 3 plates. And all 4 of those kids had 3 children of their own, so they were all going to get 1 plate. And Phil goes, is that it? And she goes, yes, it is. And he goes, well, I'm hungry. I'm going to get food. And he turned, but he had a backpack on. And it knocked a plate off of the wall, and it shattered. And the only thing you could hear in the kitchen was the clock ticking and this woman sobbing. And my son goes, God damn it, Phil, now she's going to have to kill one of her kids. I mean, come on. This lady went from crying to laughing, and she goes, oh, I like you. And my son goes, enough to let me pick which kid? This dude's like a superhero who doesn't know how to use his powers yet. I'm flying. Is that a wall? Smash.
As a man, when you're sitting on your own bed, looking at your own iPad, looking at your pictures, you never want this sentence to leave your mouth. I stop on a picture and I go, well, that's not my dick. Now, at first I thought somebody was sending my wife dick pics, and I had that one beat, so I wasn't even gonna say anything to her, you know what I mean? I was gonna be like, keep looking at that skinny dick, babe. I feel pretty good about myself. It's not gonna be as funny when I come out of the shower doing the helicopter tomorrow, is it? Is it? But then I recognized the IKEA desk that I had built for my son behind the dick, and I was like, oh my God, I built that desk and that dick! He's sending people dick pics! So I go down into his room, I'm like, hey man. He goes, yeah. I go, you want to explain to me again how the cloud works? And he was like, oh, you're so stupid. And I was like, yeah, no, we'll see. I said, break it down for me real slow if you can. He goes, okay, Dad. You take a picture on your phone, and it goes to the iPad. I'm like, what else? He was like, Mom takes a picture on her phone, and it goes to the iPad. I'm like, what else? He was like, I take a picture on my phone, and oh no.
Growing up, my dad would get up every morning at 4 a.m. and take a bath. That's weird. That's really weird. But now that I'm a father, I've never understood anything so much in my entire life. I'm like, Dad, yes, get your fucking bath time, dude. Because you know what never asked for a piece of bread with peanut butter on it, and then when you gave it to him, said that they didn't like peanut butter or bread? The sunrise never did that, and neither did that fucking bath.
For me, my wife and I, we had a new baby back in October. So, thank you. He actually just started saying dada. Yeah, incredible. It's incredible hearing that word. Melts my heart. But everything's dada to him. A cup is dada. The sky, dada. I'm like, who's your favorite comedian? He's like, Sebastian Maniscalco.
I don't know if any of you have ever changed a boy's diaper or have seen an elephant bathe itself in a river. Same principle. And that's the difference between having kids and not having kids. It's like, oh, I have pee in my hair. And not, call 911! It's pee! It's pee! So I turn around to get a napkin. My back is turned for about 1/8 of a second. I've done this before, you know? So I turn around, and by the time I turn back, he is grabbing his junk! And I don't mean like pocket pool waiting for your taxi or lift. You know, like Hercules trying to tear the skin off a serpent. I literally went involuntarily. Did a full curly. Honey, the baby's trying to pull his cock off. I don't know how you want me to play this. And I had to say something because I didn't want her to come in and find me fighting with her son over his penis. Hey, no, hey! I can explain. He wanted to touch it. It's a good thing I was here.
My theory is if you have kids with your wife when you're in an interracial relationship, when it comes time to name your kids, there's a whole negotiation that begins. There's a compromise, you know what I'm saying? Like the example I like to do usually is like I say, let's say you're a Mexican guy actually married to like a Swedish woman, let's say, right? Let's say you have a kid, right? You, right away, your son, you go, I want to name him Jose. The Swedish wife would be like, I want to name him Ikea. They compromise, Hoskia. You see how that works? So when my son was born, I went to my Indian wife out the gate. I started with a nice Persian Muslim name right out the gate. Went to my wife, my Indian wife, I go, hey, how about Mahmoud? That's strong, right? She came back, it was a negotiation. She comes back, she goes, how about go fuck yourself? I said, is that a very common Indian name? I go, would his nickname be Go Fuck or Yourself? What would... Then it was a negotiation. I went back. I go, how about Mohammed? She goes, asshole, I want him to travel. I go, oh, okay. Yeah, Mohammed's not a good name at the airport. That's not a good one. So then I found a nice neutral Persian name, Dara, D-A-R-A. Great name, right? Nobody knows what it is, right? But then she wanted to Indianize it, so she added a silent H after the D. So now it's spelled D-H-A-R-A. Looks Indian, is Iranian. You see? Right? She's happy, I'm happy. That's it. That's how the negotiation works. But my favorite thing is when we go to the parent-teacher conferences. Oh my God, white people. You guys are so nervous about messing up ethnic names. It's the most entertaining shit because his teachers don't know what to do with the silent H in Dara. And they don't want to mess it up. They don't want to offend us. So we walk in, I see his white teachers, they're sweating bullets. And they start saying his name, hoping that we'll help them out. They're like, you know, your son, The ja. The I go, there's no cha. Where'd you see the cha? The H is silent. White people, every time you see an H in a Muslim name, you start going, there's no cha. I told her, relax. I did the H for my Indian wife. I wanted Mohammed. She goes, you mean Mohammed? There's no cha.
It's tough because when you have teenagers, you know that they get to a certain age and they start to think that they're cool and that you're not, which is a phenomenon because you raised them. You've known them their whole lives and you know they're not cool at all. And you know that you are, and yet you gotta listen to them like, oh, Dad, you're so out of it. Dad, you don't get it. Dad, you don't know how to download. It's like, hey, you don't know me, motherfucker. You don't know who I was. I used to be very cool. You know when I stopped being cool? When you two assholes were born. Before that, very cool. Way cooler than you will ever be. You know why you won't be as cool as I was? Because you're not being raised by an abusive, alcoholic parent. That's why. And that can change.
COVID though, man. I mean, I've been a comedian for 20 years, doing 200 shows a year, and then the pandemic hit, and I became a homeschool teacher. I was very ill prepared for that. You see, folks, I'm a comic for a reason. Like, sorry, guys, Daddy can't help you with your math homework. But if you need a good dick joke, I got you.
My dad is black, born and raised in Louisiana, has a PhD in nuclear physics, and served our country in the Army, people. Right. Now, in the last special, he was 75, now he's 78, and he hasn't changed. He's still black and has swag. He still walks around the house like this, you know what I mean? And he's always laughing like, yeah. And always pointing at random shit that's not there. Just like, Now, my mom, she was born and raised in Korea, South Side. Now we know who doesn't watch the news in his room.
The other reason I grew a beard is because my 18-year-old son challenged me to a beard growing contest, and he lost because he is 18. You ever seen an 18-year-old's beard? Oh my God, they're so gross. It's like a daddy long leg who's just crawling out feet first. Like a whisker up here and a whisker over here. I have a grandmother that could beat this kid in a beard growing contest using only moles. I think my son challenged me to a beard growing contest because pubic hair grew in on other parts of his body, and that grew in full. Because that is how pubic hair works. Nobody has patchy pubes. Let me rephrase that. I don't think anybody has patchy pubes. Some of you shut down on that one. You're like, hey, buddy, right here. What are you doing out of the house? Just stay home and fix your dick mange or whatever. It's probably not called that, but that's what I'm gonna call it. I have never seen pubic hair on my son's body, but I have for sure seen it shaved off of his body onto my toilet seat. You know where my toilet seat is? That's in my bathroom. That's an easy one. Everyone should have got that. Do you know where my bathroom is? That is in my bedroom. So that means he walked through my bedroom, and he is not allowed in there because clothes go missing and pillows get moved. And I don't trust that. A crooked pillow is a mystery I don't want to solve. So that goes in the garbage immediately. I just picture him straddling my toilet. And I know he straddled it because there are only pubes on the back half of the toilet seat. If you have a better theory, I'll listen, but there isn't one. That's the only way, because I know he wasn't using painter's tape and shit to like straighten it out. Hold on, it's not even yet. Let me get a laser level. I got it. just over my toilet. Fion, fion, fion. Like he's making a pair of Ugg boots. Right? Walking out of my bathroom like, fuck it, my dad'll clean it up. I'm 18, I don't try. Or, you know, whatever kids say when you're not around. Now, the main problem I have with these pubes on the toilet is that during this story, my kids live with me Sunday to Wednesday. They live with their mother Wednesday to Sunday. And he shaved his pubes Wednesday before he went to school. That means he was not going to be home for 4 days. So I called the cell phone when he was at school to leave a message, but he answered because he is not a good student. And I said, hey man, found some pubes. And he said, where? Which leads me to believe I have not found all the pubes. What do you mean, where? Why are there options to this conversation? Am I going to happen upon more pubes later this afternoon? Boy, I sure hope not, because I taught him how to prank, and I know he's real good at it. I haven't checked, but I bet you there are pubes in my sleeping bag right now. 'Cause that's a hard-ass burn. Nobody naps when they're camping. The first time you get in that bag, the food is in the tree and the fire is out, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to get some. Oh, those are pubes. You got me. So I said, hey man, why'd you shave the pubes at my house? And he goes, because mom's not there to yell at me. And I said, that is the dumbest answer I've ever heard. So get back here after school and clean these up. And he said, I'm sorry, Father, but according to the custody agreement, I am at mother's now. And I know that was meant to make me mad, but it didn't. I was thrilled he used 2 3-syllable words in one sentence. Because I have watched him walk into a wall during the daytime. Natural sunlight guiding his way and just still, thunk. So I waited till Sunday, and he came to my house and said, hey man, come give me a hug. And he came to give me a hug like this, and when he did, I spun him around, and I put him in a full Nelson. And I walked him up the stairs, and I walked him into my bathroom, and I bent him over the toilet like I was rubbing a dog's nose in its own shit. Because the pubes were still there. They're not mine. I'm not cleaning those off. I walked downstairs in my own home for 4 straight days to use the bathroom because I am committed to parenting. So I have him bent over the toilet and he starts making the weirdest noise. He started going like that. And I panicked a little bit because when he was 2, he had asthma. When he was 7, it went away because of a nebulizer. And I thought, oh my God, did I give my kid back asthma? But I didn't. Turns out he was just blowing pube dust to create a clean breathing area. Once I figured that out, I could not stop laughing. Because I had come to the realization my son is pubic hair waterboarding himself. And that hits the spot. I was laughing so hard, my grip loosened. He finally wiggles around and he goes, why are you doing this to me? I said, because your mom's not here to yell at me anymore either.
Yeah, so I get to Dubai. They said, don't talk about sex, religion, or politics. I was like, cool. They want an authentic Middle Eastern comedy. I was like, bet. I just said something I think they would like, you know? I was talking about how when you're raised by immigrant parents and you get older, you really learn to appreciate all the lessons you were taught. But then you also realize that a lot of it was wrong information. Yeah, like when I was in 5th grade, my dad told me that you can't be gay unless you're 21. I'll tell you what happened, man. I'm in school. I'm in 5th grade. I'm taking this art class. It was first day of school. And in the school I was going to, they also had 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in the same class to assimilate. First day of class, I'm drawing something. This kid comes up to me. I look up, and the kid's like, man, you gay. And then the kid behind him was like, with your gay ass. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty shocked. But the thing is, when I get shocked, I put my hands on my chest. And I gasp. I was like, why would you say that? The kid was like, that's why. We got into a fight. I lost. She was tough. I got suspended. I went up to my dad. My dad's like, what happened? I'm like, Dad, these kids in school, they call me gay, right? I'm not gay, but they kept saying it. Like, what should I have done? And then my dad was like, Paul, first of all, there is no way you could be gay. You are too young. Gay is for older people, much bigger. Look how small you are. You are small like baby. Anyway, if I were you, don't worry, just be patient. I'm like, wait, what? I just go back to school with this new knowledge. I see those same kids like, hey guys, look, Paul's gay. And I was like, nah, dog, I'm too young. Be patient. And this one kid was like, with your gay ass. I'm like, who is this homophobic hype man? I said that joke, and I got taken off stage immediately. I didn't know what I did wrong. And then Wissam came up to me and he goes, Paul, how can you say the word gay? In Dubai, gay is sex, religion, and politics. We never say the word gay. We say, this dude rebranded gay into a sound. They were upset with me, and I was like, what do you want me to do? And he goes, just leave, go back to the hotel. So I go back to the hotel, I'm chilling. Then I get a voice note from Wissam. I listen to it, and he goes, Paul, Dubai is very angry. In fact, they are saying they can put you in jail for what you just said. Anyway, enjoy Dubai. And that. I was like, yo, am I about to go to jail right now, bro? Honestly, I opened up my laptop and I Googled things that can get you to go to jail in Dubai. Player. Long list. One of the things on that list is Googling things that can get you to go to jail. I was looking at some of these rules. I was like, this is wild, man. Obviously, things are a lot more different now. They're a lot more open, definitely 100%. But back then, things were tight, right? I looked at this list. It's like, you cannot have a public display of affection with someone that you're not married to. You can't have sex with someone that you're not married to. You can't be publicly intoxicated, right? Imagine that. Imagine you're in jail and you see somebody and you're like, what are you in here for? They're like, murder in the first degree? You? White Claw in the second? But that's insane, man. I had this moment where I was just really nervous, and then I kept thinking about my mom. I was like, man, my mom hustled to provide for her family, and that's what I was doing. I was hustling to provide for myself. I was like, I gotta hustle, bro. And also, I ain't afraid, man. I ain't afraid of none of that, bro. I came out here to do authentic Middle Eastern comedy, and if that's a problem, whatever, bro. I ain't afraid of jail. I'm from Detroit, player! Yeah. I was fucking terrified, okay? I was praying the whole time, like, please, God, Jesus, anybody, somebody. Tom Cruise, Jesus, somebody, anybody. Nothing happened. Thank you, Tom Cruise. Nothing happened, man. Honestly, like I got on the flight, I went back to LA. Wissam called me and he goes, listen, bro, we're good. And I was like, man, Wissam, question, do you think Dubai would ever bring me back? And he was like, some time goes by, right? And then I get another call from Wissam months later, right? Wissam's like, Paul, by the way, I'm very sorry about everything that happened in Dubai regarding However, there is another opportunity for you. There is a Saudi prince. He is a member of the royal family. He is in Los Angeles. He would like to see a Middle Eastern comedian, and he wants authentic Middle Eastern comedy. Are you available? I was like, Wissam, man, thank you so much for thinking of me. I know there's a lot of people you could have asked. He was like, yes, everyone else was busy. I pulled up anyway. I show up, and it's true. I was at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, and then I found out that this dude rented the entire ballroom of this hotel for just him and his 6 friends. That was the show. So I'm about to go on stage and just perform for these people, right? And then before I go on stage, Wissam whispers in my ear and he goes, oh, Paul, one more thing. The prince doesn't speak any English, good luck. And then he just leaves. I was like, Wissam, I told you, my name is Paul. They just shoved me on stage. And the thing is, I'm on stage and I see these 7 Saudi dudes just staring at me. And I don't know which one's the prince, they all look alike. So I just said the first thing that came to my mind. I was just like, if you a Saudi prince, make some noise! And then one dude at the end was like, that is me. I'm the person you're referring to. What the hell? Referring? Dude, that is a huge word for someone that speaks no English. Arabs don't even know how to use the word referring. Arabs are like, I tell you, for me, for him. That's referring. I was like, whatever, man. I'm just gonna say something I think they would like. So I was like, my ex-girlfriend was an Arab, very hairy woman. And then one dude was like, oh yeah. This is true. I was like, yeah, man, very hairy woman. Like she used to use Head and Shoulders on her head and shoulders. Nobody laughed. It was silence. Honestly, everyone was just looking at the prince, and the prince looked at me and he goes, oh my God. That is so funny! He is saying her head here is like her head here? Ah! I was like, yo, I'm fucking killing right now, dog. Holy shit. Y'all was feeling myself. Before I can get to another joke, Wissam runs on stage and he goes, the prince would like it if you can repeat the joke again. This dude tried to turn me into Spotify. I was feeling a type of way about it. I was like, man, I don't want to do that. But then I felt so bad because the prince was looking at me and he goes, please, Bol, tell us, where did she use the shampoo? My ex-girlfriend was an Arab. Very hairy woman. And he was like, they are so hairy! They are so hairy! Aren't they so hairy? His boy's like, oh yeah. This is true. She used to use Head and Shoulders. He was like, here it comes. On her head and shoulders. This dude was like, ah! Is this woman a gorilla? This woman is 100% a gorilla. I must meet this woman. After I said that joke, they were like, okay, you're done. So I leave. I'm about to go to the parking lot. I'm on my way out. And then before I can get to my car, Wissam stops me again. He goes, Bull, by the way, the prince, he thinks you are so funny. In fact, he was wondering if you are free tomorrow. He would like to watch a movie with you. I was like, damn, I'm about to be a princess. Yo, I'm about to kick it with my short king. You know what I'm saying? I was so excited, I told my dad. I was like, Dad, the Saudi prince wants to watch a movie with me. What do you think? He goes, Habibi, you're over 21. It is up to you. Yeah.
And speaking of unwanted pregnancies, I've learned so much from my daughter. It just like, and one thing I learned that they don't really tell you about, but you have to like constantly censor yourself, edit your responses to the kids, like because kids will often say some really funny shit, just some gems, right? But you can't laugh because they didn't intend for it to be funny, so it's upsetting to them. It seems dismissive, and they're trying to be sincere, and so you can't laugh. It's you know. They take it poorly, and a good example of this, like this is 100% true. So when my daughter was about 4.5, my wife was out of town, and we were having breakfast, and there was a little lull in the conversation, and I'm over, cleaning up some dishes and stuff, and then after about a minute, she says to me. And apropos of nothing, we had not been talking about anything like this at all. So she just comes out with this. She goes, Daddy, I'm sad you're going to die soon. And, my immediate reaction was like, oh my God. She's a witch. And I went over and I sat down next to her, and I very quickly bound her hands and legs, threw her in her sack, drove to a river, and dumped her off the bridge. But here's the thing, I love that kid so much, and I'm almost embarrassed to say that I'm surprised at how much I love her, not because of her, but I just didn't think I was capable of that depth of love for another person or thing, I used to think I had kind of a mild form of autism when it came to love, because I never had that connection that, you see in the movies and the poems and the books and the the Notebook. I've never felt like that, Wuthering Heights, I haven't read it, but I assume there's some love shit in there, and I've just never felt that for anything, any person, and I have a wonderful dog, and but I would take a bullet for that kid. Instinctively, I would take a bullet for her. I would not take a bullet for my wife. No. No. Absolutely not. No. Fuck that. No. Wait. Honey, it's your bullet, he said. He said I'll be downstairs playing video games. No, but I would take a bullet for my dog. Now here's the thing. I love that kid so much. I really do. But at the same time, and I'm 100% sincere when I say this, I also resent her. I really do. Because she's rich. She's a fucking rich kid. And I know it's not right. I know it's a leftover hangover prejudice I had since I was a kid. I grew up really poor, and I was always suspicious of rich people. I didn't get it. I didn't like it, and I just didn't like rich people. I still don't, you know. And I'm rich, you know. I mean, I'm not rich. I pay my taxes, but you know what I mean. And when that kid is whining about dumb shit, I'm like, oh, stop it. You're fucking rich. Stop, you know, you have central air. Do you understand? Are you hot? Push that button, you'll cool down. Are you cold? Push that button, you heat up. You have a teepee in your playroom that's not your bedroom. Can you conceive of how fucking rich you're sitting there eating an organic banana that your mother made me go to 3 fucking places in the rain to get you an organic banana? Like that fucking matters. It's the biggest scam in the world. It's bullshit. Anybody can throw an organic sticker on anything. Nobody does their due diligence. It's all. Also, are you eating the peel? All right, then who gives a shit? Why do I have to pay a 500% markup for a fucking organic banana? You're not gonna eat. And okay, so I'm sorry. Let me get this straight. So, our water is contaminated. Our air is polluted. Our homes are slowly trying to kill us. But yeah, an organic banana that'll set everything straight. Good. Hey, you know what? I didn't have anything organic until I was 40, and that was by accident, and I'm fine. All right. So seriously, quit your whining, young lady. Seriously, listen to me. Listen to me. Until you drive your 1982 Chevy Malibu with a broken side mirror an hour and a half through a snowstorm in a Western Mass so you can do a set for a bunch of disinterested, drunk, anti-Semitic, racist Christian patriots for $30 and a cold egg roll, then you can complain to me about how your purse doesn't have as many sparkles as Madeline's, all right? Also, that purse, it was made by prison labor. That's right, an innocent man was framed by a bunch of dirty cops. They planted drugs on him so they could boost their gotchas, right? They knowingly, because he was black and indigent, they were just like, oh, this'll work, and they planted drugs on him. Then, when the rest of the precinct found out about it, you know what they did? They all covered up for him. The whole thing is corrupt. From top to bottom, they're all corrupt pieces of shit. And then those cops perjured themselves on the witness stand and in cahoots with a crooked prosecutor and a crooked judge knowingly sent an innocent man to prison, ruining generations of lives. He made your purse. Another thing that's changed since I had a kid is news affects me more. It affects me differently. It affects me in deeper ways that I can't shake, that are depressing. And like before I had a kid, get up in the morning, cup of tea, turn on the computer, and there's a Yahoo News front page, and be like, top story, a woman in Florida murdered her 3-year-old daughter. And, before I had a kid, I'd be like, fuck, man, that's messed up. How'd the Braves do? Now that I have a kid, I see those stories and I cannot shake them. And they really are depressing and disturbing. And, next morning, a man in Florida murdered his 6-year-old son. Jesus, fuck. God damn. Next morning, a woman in Florida murdered her 4-year-old daughter and son. Jesus. Next morning, a man in Florida murdered all his nieces under the age of 8. Next morning, a couple in Florida murdered their twins. And I see this you murdered a 3-year-old? What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't have to murder a 3-year-old. They're 3. There's a million ways they can die. Just leave them at the top of the stairs and go do laundry. What are you thinking? You don't have to scream and yell when they're running into the median. Just Cody, stop. You're not thinking, right? Hey, kiddo. Hey, here's 5 inches of water. I'm gonna go make some fish sticks. Oh no, I'm free. What the fuck? And now you're gonna go to jail for the rest of your life. It's stupid. It's depressing. It's really disturbing and depressing. And also, you live in Florida. Avail yourselves of the services there. Just be patient. There's a 32.6% chance they'll be shot to death by the time they're in 8th grade. Come on now. Is your kid black or brown? The cops will murder him for you. Man, I think it is really messed up that they're going to have to change the end of the Flintstones theme song just because of Florida. You get it? How you guys doing up there? You guys get it? How about y'all? Do y'all get it up there? Back of the house? You guys? All right, that's enough time. Man, what is going on in Florida? They are just so proudly ignorant. They love it. They love they're oh my gosh, it's amazing. This is true. This is only a couple weeks old. All right, this is for real. I'm going to read this to you. Don't have it memorized. All right. If you want to see the outcome of Ron DeSantis' Stop Woke Act, look no further than changes made to a first-grade social studies text about Rosa Parks. All right, so here's what the old version was that kids were learning about Rosa Parks. The law said African Americans had to give up their seats on the bus if a white person wanted to sit down. Well, that's pretty much what it was. But apparently that was causing the youth of Florida to just become heroin addicts. It's tough. It's tough news to process. So they had to change it. Stop woke. So they changed it. So they changed it to, she was told to move to a different seat because of the color of her skin. All right, it's pretty much, it's less specific, but that's not incorrect. And but apparently too much. Again, the kids were committing mass suicide, just jumping into trains, and it was just awful when they were told that. So they changed it further. What I'm going to read to you is what they are currently teaching kids in Florida about Rosa Parks. She was told to move to a different seat. She did not. She did what she believed was right. Yeah. That's, I don't know if you noticed, they leave a little wiggle room in there. She did what she believed was right. We're not saying it's right, because, she should have just moved and listened, obeyed her superiors, and she didn't. Sounds like somebody was getting a little too big for their britches, and she wouldn't move. And she did what she believed was right, and now we got to deal with all these vape stores. The Rosa Parks story. Martin Luther King Jr. told us all about a dream he had. But everyone knows it's boring when people tell you their dreams. He was rude and insolent. Nevertheless, a kindly white gentleman named James Earl Ray was so moved by his dream that he decided to gift Martin Luther King with a present. He looked around his house. What is there? What could I possibly give him? Then he said, you know what? I'll give him these free bullets. But I live so far away, how can I get them to him quickly? In Germany in 1932, a confused but well-meaning young man tried to come up with a solution to a problem everyone had. He tried everything, but nothing worked. And he was forced to use his final solution. And although there were very fine people on both sides, two wrongs don't make a right.
I'm a dad now, and I've been a dad for a long time. My son is really here. My son is 17 years old, and he's here at the show, like, he's got a wristband on, and they were like, don't let him drink. My son is here, yeah. I have a 17-year-old kid, it's crazy. It's so nuts having a teenager. I wanted a teenager. The entire time I had him young, and the whole time he was growing up, I was like, I want a fucking teenager. Because the whole time he's been growing up, everybody's like, wait till you have a teenager, Ben. Wait till he gets to teenage years. Yeah, wait till he gets to the teenage years. Kids these days, they're fucking different. That's what everybody says, they're fucking different. I have a teenager now, and I'm here to tell you all, they're not any fucking different. They're the exact same fucking things they've always been. It's crazy. In fact, my son, when he was turning 14, I remember this vividly. I went to him and I was like, hey, dude, what do you want to do for your 14th birthday? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, make it cheap. Let's not go. I thought he wanted to go to like a gaming cafe or to race drones or do something futuristic. And he was like, no, you know what, Dad? Honestly, I just think me and my friends want to go roller skating. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I just think we want to go roller skating. And I was like, that's the most American teenage thing ever. What one of us as teenage kids didn't go roller skating when we were in middle school or whatever? Look at you, even you, felon-looking guy. You're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I roller skated. It's crazy. We all did it. And you want to know what my son and his dork friends did at that roller skating rink? Do you want to know? They fucking roller skated. Do you know what I've never done? In the hundreds of times I went to a roller skating rink between the ages of 11 and 13 years old, I'd never put on a pair of roller skates once. I used to just stand in front of the door of Happy Wheels Skate Center and rip Marlboro mediums one right after the other. And plan my next fire. That's all I did. I'd just stand up front in a Def Leppard shirt and be like, we're gonna burn down Carl's Tough Shed after this, right? But my son and his friends, they actually skated. They played the claw game. They had pizza. It was adorable. And you're all like, Ben, how do you know that he actually did that? Because he's a teenager, you can't trust him. Oh, I'll tell you how I know. He invited me! My fucking teenage son invited his dad to go roller skating with him at his birthday party. He was like, Dad, do you want to come along to my birthday party? And I was like, yeah. Yeah, Daddy wants to go skating. You'd have me? And he's like, as long as you don't call yourself Daddy for the rest of the afternoon. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I guess your generation has ruined the word, haven't you? Oh, God. He was like, are you crying? And I was like, I've been to jail. And I was like, I would have never invited my parents anywhere. Like, I would have never, and he invited me, and it was so cool, and I was like, fuck, I'm going roller skating with my boy. Oh, what am I gonna wear? Like, that's a big thing. And I was so fucking pumped, and I'm like, what are we gonna do? And he was like, Dad, why are you so psyched to go roller skating? And I was like, kiddo, I used to roller skate as a kid. I haven't been into one of those shits in like 26 years. I can't wait to go inside that building and see all the cool ways in which they've updated it. And all of you that are laughing because you know that hasn't fucking happened at all. I walked in the door and I was like, holy fuck! And he was like, what? And I'm like, it's exactly as we left it. And he was like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure my joint is still behind the locker. It's a fucking time capsule. In fact, I've become totally convinced that there is only one contracting company on the planet that has the license to build every roller skating rink on the planet in perpetuity forever, right? Like, if your town wants a roller skating rink, you just call this company up, and a pot-bellied guy in a hard hat shows up, and he's like, hey, man, what's going on? Someone said y'all wanted to put up a roller skating rink up here, or what? I'm like, yep, right on, man. You want me to build you a squat, windowless cement building set back in a dirt parking lot that looks totally out of place in your town? Yeah, that sounds about right. Right on, cool, man. You want me to carpet that thing on the inside from wall to fucking wall? Yeah, I think I do. Right on, man. You want me to carpet the fucking walls? Fuck yeah, I want you to carpet the fucking walls. I want to get a rug burn on my elbows if I'm just walking somewhere with poop. Why are the walls always carpeted? No one has ever asked that question. What a weird design thing. And everyone, it's uniform. It's just like, did roller skating rinks turn into the creepiest BDSM clubs after hours? Like at 2 a.m, are there just fucking cable executives cheese grating their balls on the fucking wall? That, and I had forgot that roller skating is a fucking enigma. It's one of the weirdest pastimes on the planet. Because if you think about it, it's one of the few pastimes on the planet where if you're really fucking good at it, it sort of creeps everybody the fuck out. And if you aren't laughing at that, that's because you're an adult who roller skates, and you're a fucking creep is what you are. Don't think I don't see you down there. Now listen, I do want to say this. It is totally sexist. This is a very real sexist divide. If you're a woman and you can roller skate, it's kind of hot. Like, it is kind of hot. I kind of like, it's fine. It's fine. You get out there, a little disco music, you know, it's hot. But if you're just an adult dad, like, think about it. Say this. Say you're having a birthday party for a little kiddo, and it's a softball game, right? And you're the dad that shows up, and every time you're up to the plate, you're like, all right, kids, back up. Mr. Roy's at the plate now. And you're just cranking home runs over the fence. Do you think anybody is bummed about that? No. No one is upset. All the other kids are like, holy fucking shit! He just hit that in the fucking road! I don't know why this kid has a thick Boston accent. It's an odd character choice. Or say you're having a bowling party, and you're the dad that shows up, and without even trying, you just lay out a 270 without even blinking. You think anybody's bummed about that? No, all the other dads are watching you bowl this game from their area, and they're like, holy shit. Honey, that's his 8th strike in a row. Hey, you know what, bud? Fuck my wife! I want you to fuck my wife. I want you to raise my son. Because you're more of a man than I'll ever fucking be. Did you just bowl a 258 on an amateur lane? Get the fuck out of here. But if you have a roller skating party and everybody arrives and you're the dad that's already there before anybody gets there, and when they come in, they get to the rink and you just come whipping around the corner backwards, and you cross in front of that open area and you're like, everybody lace up, couple skate starts in 3 songs. And you're doing that weird sideways crotch buffet as you go by. All of a sudden, everybody in the building is like, hey, did you know that Ted's a sex offender? I had no fucking clue. I didn't see that coming. He works for the state. They're not doing background checks anymore, huh? Oh, fuck. Yeah, look at that. He's skating backwards again. Okay, you know what, kiddos? We're gonna stay away from old feels on wheels for the rest of the year. Well, I don't know. It just looks like your Uncle Ted is working through a few things out there. You all know that guy. We used to go to a roller skating rink. There'd be 130 tweens out there on the fucking roller skating rink, and then just one 40-year-old dude fucking ripping it up. You can't feel it. It's electric. Boogie, oogie, oogie. And then he crosses in front and does this shit where he gets low, and then he... One of you assholes in here does that. And you think it's funny. You're sitting here laughing. You're like, yeah, that's me. I skate well. But little do you know, you are playing with fucking fire. Because if you don't know it, let me tell you all. If you're an adult male over the age of 35 years old, and you turn a corner at a roller skating rink by crossing one skate over the other as you go around that corner, you are automatically a level 2 sex offender in the state of Colorado. Yeah, you now have to register with your neighbors when you move into an area. You want to be a dad who roller skates? Get your ass out. Grab the railing, pull yourself along the wall. No one is scared of this guy. Hi guys, hi.